Happy New Year. What time is it? Let's get you a nice little thumbnail up here. It is 7:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday, January the 1st, 2019. You know how it is that first week when, probably first few weeks where you got to get used to not putting 2018 on everything and, saying 2018. It's 2019. 18 days, 13 hours, 37 minutes away. That shit is creeping up on us. It's basically here. The media calls start tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be here live streaming the Marcus Brown versus Badu Jack versus Marcus Brown media call. That's the co-main event or the co-feature. Pacquiao versus Broner. If you don't know, it's going to be on January the 19th, 2019 on Showtime Boxing in Las Vegas, and the fight is trending well. Now, let's be honest. Adrien Broner is the major underdog. It doesn't look like he's going in there as focused as he should be with, as you can see, the state of, affairs. If you've seen the press conference, we've covered both of the press conferences, the L.A. and the New York one. It was hell for us. We are working for full coverage for the event. Hopefully, we'll get in. Hopefully. Nonetheless, we're still going to do our job. This is Manny Pacquiao. He is 40 years old. And even at 40 years old, he can still compete with the top welterweights at 147 pounds. Truth be told, I was just thinking about it earlier when I was making breakfast. I was like, because I was preparing for this video, and I was like, I don't know. Even if Keith Thurman has had that 2-year layoff and his elbow, is damaged goods, I don't know if Pac at 40 can be able to hang with him. But Pacquiao's left hand, listen, outside of Mayweather, it caught him once. That left hand is no joke. People constantly underestimate it. It will fuck you up, especially with the help of Voodoo Mama's high priestess, Destiny Pacquiao. If she's there, then Adrien Broner's fucked. And Adrien Broner's full of sin anyway. The petty case king. He got arrested a couple of weeks ago for some petty traffic ticket. It's just stuff like that it's like, yo, bro, get your shit together. And he's always telling us how focused he is and everything like that. Listen, I like Adrien Broner. Very charismatic. I like seeing him fight, even though we know it's going to be one or two Adrien Broner. The Adrien Broner pressure fighter that's flat-footed, comes straight forward, that he actually does good when he fights like that against Jesse Vargas, Khabib Alakverdiev. But when he starts to do that moving shit, like he did against Sean Porter, like he did against Mikey Garcia, he doesn't do well fighting on the back foot. When he holds his own and stands his ground, he does much better. I think he should do that with Pacquiao. Either way, people saying he's going to get fucked up. Let's not sugarcoat it. Either way, people saying he's going to get his face smashed in by a 40-year-old man. But in today's sports and modern medicine and technology, I'm sorry, 40 is not really old in boxing, especially if you don't have a lot of vices, like drinking and smoking and late nights and, doing sinful shit like cockfighting and sleeping, sleeping around like Pacquiao was. Pacquiao used to be so full of sin. So full of sin. But now he went from sinner to senator. And he's a man of the Lord, a very powerful man who's close friends with the Filipino president. Pacquiao is now in the grasp of Al Heyman. You know how big of a signing that is? Even if he is 40 years old? Come on, that's a big-ass feather in Al Heyman cap. And I think that's one of the reasons why Pacquiao versus Broner will do really well. See, let's talk about something that not the YouTube media, the Yahoos and the CBSs and everybody can't talk about. There's this thing here where fighters like Pacquiao, for example, if this fight would have been Top Rank or whatever, it wouldn't have got as many pay-per-view buys. Now, I'm fucking the wording all up. I'm saying this, that Pacquiao's going to get so much support from black boxing fans on YouTube, mostly YouTube media, LDBC especially, because he's with Heyman. So what I'm saying is, along with Pacquiao's strong Asian fan base, to them, they're like, yes, he's back, and he's going to shut up a big mouth like Broner. He's got a strong American Asian fan base. They're going to guarantee him at least 300,000 pay-per-view buys right there. Add Broner with the rap urban appeal. Broner is a crossover athlete in a way, kind of like Mayweather is, where even if he doesn't always perform in the ring, on the outside, he's always generating headlines. So the fact that it's happening in Vegas, you can expect for it to be because of Pacquiao, because of Broner. It's going to be a whole bunch of rappers and everybody there, a lot of celebrities. Then with it being Pacquiao versus Broner on pay-per-view, and Pacquiao been on some shit lately in the media events. For example, did you notice like how his social media is like funny, and he be like talking like talking shit, even at the press conferences with Broner, like he was getting at him. I uploaded I should have pulled it up, damn it, and we should have watched some clips. I can still do it, but we still have to catch up on some. I uploaded a video of the best bits from Pacquiao versus Broner press tour, and Pacquiao was lighting him up. Also, note that Pacquiao, Broner, and Freddie Roach and Broner are friends. Freddie Roach usually speaks very highly of Broner, but since it's like the build up to the fight, and also Freddie Roach has that bad reputation, of saying shit he shouldn't to, and at the wrong time, especially that shit he said about Ben Davidson, and whatever. But that whole shit about, the joke with Broner about, Freddie Roach being crippled, I don't think Freddie Roach cares. Broner's been known for having some whack-ass shock jock jokes lately, last couple years. Seem like he just be, just trying a little too hard. But let's go look at the records and the resumes. 67-2, 39 KOs. Let's face it. Lucas Matisse was damaged goods. People say Pacquiao looked great. He did look great. But Lucas Matisse didn't want that work. When you look at Jeff Horn, I think the majority of the people think Jeff Horn lost that fight, but it wasn't like a robbery. It was a very close fight. Pacquiao, in my opinion, you know how they say fighters live up to the competition? I don't think that Pacquiao took Jeff Horn seriously, and it showed. When it comes to Jesse Vargas, obviously, that was his last pay-per-view. It was a solo pay-per-view of Top Rank before Top Rank. It was kind of when Top Rank was in that network limbo. They was pissed off with HBO. They didn't have the ESPN deal yet. We knew they were going over to ESPN, or media did, and they did that Jesse Vargas pay-per-view. And then, of course, Timothy Bradley, Floyd Mayweather, Chris Algieri, Timothy Bradley, Brandon Rios, Juan Marquez, Timothy Bradley, Juan Marquez, Shane Mosley. But now it seems he may be back. See, it's contingent on if he loses or not, but it seems as though Pacquiao may be back for 4 fights. He may be fighting for at least until he's 42 years old. With smart matchmaking, it's very possible to extend his career. For example, Broner, that should be a shoe-in. Now, his next fight is supposed to be a very, very big fight. Who's going to get it, though? Keith Thurman, if he beats Jose Zito Lopez, I think, in my opinion, he should get it. But people are like, Errol Spence. If Errol Spence beats Mikey Garcia, or what if Mikey Garcia loses and still gets it? Remember, Pacquiao can turn these fights down. Also, you have to give Pacquiao respect, because if he does say, after Adrien Broner, we're going to talk to Al Hammond and my team and, maybe Errol Spence. You think they're not going to make that fight immediately? However, Spence is way too big for him, for crying out loud. They got to help Pacquiao out. Give him a weight, rehydration or something. But surprisingly, Errol Spence doesn't come into the ring very heavy. I believe he comes into the ring about, 158 or something like that? Correct me if I'm wrong. No more than 160. Yes, that's 13 pounds over, but it's not no 165 or no shit like that. Or no 20 pounds over, no shit like that. Now, when it comes to Mayweather, we all know what happened with poor old Tension. Mayweather is saying he's retired, but something's been cooking for quite some time. Showtime's been talking about it. Mayweather's been kind of pissed off because Showtime didn't want to pick up that Tension fight. That's been the rumor circulating around. Even on Fight Hub, Steven Espinoza had talked about it a little bit. So Floyd wants to come back, but I don't think that Floyd wants to work. You see what I'm saying? I think it's kind of like Brett Favre. He wants to bypass all that training camp shit and get into the ring, but he knows he can't do that with guys like Pacquiao anymore, or Errol Spence's, or the Keith Thurmans, or the Sean Porters. Can you imagine a Pacquiao versus a Sean Porter? The options are limited now. Are limitless now that he's over there with Al Hammond. All Access is going to be 2 of them. The first one is going to be this Friday. I believe it's at 10 p.m. Here, let's let it play through. Hopefully, man. Sometimes, even though I be promoting this shit, they give me a hard time about like some of this stuff. I don't think it's them. It's like they're bots, like that just be picking it 10:30 this Friday. So I didn't hear anything about episode 2. In fact, let me do something for you. In fact, I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to come back. So it's going to be like a weird kind of cut because I'm going to pull up. I should be able to pull up on my cable by now since the fight is 19 days away. Let's see if we can go ahead 20 days on our TV guide or our cable guide and see how much Pac versus Broner cost. I'll be right back. Pause, record. I couldn't find it. My guide only went up until the 15th, but it's safe to say that it's going to be $74.99, which was the same price for Wilder versus Fury. Also, the second episode is going to be on January the 11th at 9:30 p.m. So episode 1 this Friday, 10:30 p.m. Episode 2 next Friday at the 11th is on a Friday, right? Yeah, the 11th is on a Friday. Next Friday at 9:30 p.m. And then episode 3, the epilogue after the fight, is going to be on January the 26th. And then remember, during fight week and the build-up, Showtime does all of the build-up stuff. And, of course, here, you know, we're going to be doing all of the stuff for the press conference, media workout, weigh-in, and then maybe providing some inside content if they decide to let our guy in, which we should. We have a very good chance of getting credentials, even though, you know, a lot of times they try to act funny when it comes to big events. But nonetheless, I feel confident because they did let us into the very first major PBC on Fox event, and that did major ratings, which is a video I got to do anyway, you know, and an update on the Charlos. But here is another situation we have to talk about, is that this is for the underling WBA world title. Keith Thurman is the WBA super champion. So, for example, to talk about Mayweather a little bit more before, because I got to do a follow-up on his tension, you know, fight, because people saying that shit was fake. Here's the thing. Pacquiao, you think Floyd is going to return for a world underling title? He's not going to fight for the WBC because of the VADA program. And the IBF are too strict with their mandatories, and he's not going to fight Errol Spence. You know, and Terrence Crawford, well, that's the WBO, and Bob Arum, you know, and he burnt them for some money and a belt. I don't know if he ever gave them their money, but nonetheless, he doesn't have a good relationship, you know, with the WBO, nor does Heyman Fighters. He doesn't seem to like them fighting for that title unless it's like really absolutely necessary. So Pacquiao is the WBA world champion, and don't be surprised with the WBA licking their chops like, yes, as soon as Pacquiao versus Broner is over, we want those sanctioning fees. So we're going to order Pacquiao versus Thurman, ha ha ha. Unless Thurman goes on to unify, of course. But we got a lot of build-up to talk about. We got to go look at ticket sales. You know, we got to look at everything because people have been like, well, you only talk about ticket sales for motherfucking black fighters, you coon. Motherfuckers be weird. So now it is a good segment to add into our content, though, to do videos on ticket sales, though. I think that's relevant. But however, I gotta make sure I find the right sites to use because, you know, I want to make sure it's click of access like we was doing with what was that, Vivid Seats or something? What we did with Wilder Fury and Canelo versus Fielding was kind of rough. But I want, you know, an app or a website where they make that shit easy. But, you know, it's a shame because, I mean, you know, I want Broner to do well, but it's like, hopefully it's true. Hopefully we see a new Broner, as he always says, every fight. And hopefully when he gets that money, because we don't know how much he's going to get, but it's going to be well over $5 million, especially if the pay-per-view does. A success for a fight like this, if it does 500,000 in this era, I'm going to be like, oh, shit. If Wilder Fury was able to do 325, if it was able to do 278, which is the low end, which Rick Glosser says, friend of mine, by the way, we're going to be bringing him on the show. It's going to be something. You know, I chatted with him last week, and then I got banned from Facebook for a month, so that's why I'm not on Facebook. But if you need to reach me, I'm going to get at you through WhatsApp, you know, or on my other Facebook account. You know, so that's what's happening on there. I accidentally posted a nipple by mistake. Long story. It was a social media post that somebody, a Photoshop somebody made for me, and it was already up there, so I reshared it, and then Facebook popped me. You know, so we're going to get him on the show though very soon, and also that's pretty much what our 2019 is. What we're focusing on is making sure that, like, now we established the platform. You see what I'm saying? This is our shit right here. It's established now. They take it to the next level to get people on this platform. It comes in phases. You know, you got to crawl before you walk. People are like, TstreeT, you need to start getting people interviews on here. You need to start. We're working on it. Soon we won't have to go soon. Like I said, my goal is never to go to any of these fights. Maybe pop my head out, the press conference here and there. But we're going to make sure the fighters and the people in the business start coming to us. Especially it's more beneficial to them. Look at this. We can have them right here. We can have them right here. I'm talking to him. Damn, I got to do a Showtime year-end review. I got to get that out today. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.